Providing for a loved one, whether it's an aging parent, an adult child with special needs, or a disabled family member, often carries a unique array of challenges. This duty can be likened to a winding road filled with numerous twists and turns. Each day presents fresh situations that require patience, resilience, and an open heart. Take the challenge of managing their medical requirements, for instance. This can involve not only attending to regular appointments, but also keeping track of and administering medications, an often intricate task that demands meticulous attention. Then there's the question of ensuring their nutritional needs are fulfilled, another complex duty that includes meal planning, grocery shopping, and mindful cooking. The caregiver's role is multifaceted and complex, requiring not just physical effort, but significant emotional labor. For example, dealing with behavioral issues, such as sudden mood swings, necessitates a lot of patience and composure. Providing a listening ear to their stories, fears, and concerns involves empathetic understanding. Offering comfort during difficult days means digging deep into one's strength and compassion. Beyond these, it's not just about the person being for. It's also about the caregiver's own journey and the challenges they face. Juggling between personal life, professional duties, and caregiving responsibilities can be a Herculean task. Learning to seek help when needed, setting boundaries, taking time for self-care, all these add to the complexity of the caregiver's role. This process can be demanding, necessitating sacrifices and alterations in lifestyle. It's not unusual for caregivers to feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and occasionally isolated. The responsibility, though burdensome, is also dotted with moments of deep connection, shared laughter, and love. Caregiving is an act of undying love, a testament to the bonds of humanity. It's an expression of compassion and patience that transcends the boundaries of spoken language. It's a journey that, while challenging, is also profoundly enriching. The rewards found along the way, the smiles, the gratitude, the sense of purpose, make every struggle worthwhile. Although the journey of caregiving comes with moments of joy, love, and fulfillment, it's also demanding, emotionally draining, and time-consuming. One of the most important aspects of caregiving that often gets overlooked is the concept of setting boundaries. And this principle is a cornerstone of effective caregiving, but one that fails to receive due attention. Often, caregivers are portrayed as self-sacrificing individuals who put the needs of their patients ahead of their own. While this is indeed true to a large extent, it is equally important to acknowledge and respect the boundaries set by caregivers themselves. The act of caregiving is a delicate balancing act that demands an intrinsic understanding of an individual's needs and capacities. It requires an exceptional level of empathy, understanding, patience, and most importantly, it requires the ability to say no. Saying no is not an act of selfishness, as it's frequently misconstrued, but a reflection of a caregiver's understanding of their own limitations. Let's delve into examples which underline the importance of setting boundaries. For instance, the exhaustion and emotional strain of continuous caregiving can lead to burnout. Setting boundaries help caregivers designate time for rest and recuperation, reducing the risk of burnout. Similarly, maintaining personal health is another aspect where boundaries are crucial. Caregivers, too, need time to eat healthily and keep up their own medical appointments. When we talk about boundaries, we're not just referring to physical boundaries, but emotional and psychological ones too. Quality care can be compromised if a caregiver is emotionally drained or stressed. Boundaries allow caregivers to manage their emotional well-being, ensuring they can provide the best possible care to their patients. The way caregivers deal with stress, their approach towards their own self-care, their response to emotional manipulation, and how they handle the inevitable emotional toll of their work, all underline the importance of setting boundaries. These boundaries protect them from burnout, a common issue that many caregivers face. It avoids the blurring of lines between the caregiver's personal life and their professional responsibilities. Caregivers must recognize their own needs and the importance of self-care. They need to understand that their own well-being is just as important as the health of the person they care for. It's a delicate balance, but one that is absolutely essential to maintain. So, when we discuss the concept of setting boundaries, we are not undermining the selfless dedication of caregivers. Instead, we are advocating for a healthier, more balanced approach to caregiving. It's crucial to understand that it's not only okay, but necessary to set limits in order to maintain a healthy balance in life. So, how does one go about setting these boundaries? Well, the journey of self-awareness is the starting point. It commences with a deep understanding of oneself, which covers personal strengths, weaknesses, and emotional triggers. In this process, you need to identify your personal limits, including but not limited to your capacity for managing stress, your tolerance levels, and what you're willing to sacrifice. For instance, a sign of you reaching your limit could be feeling overwhelmed. You may notice signs of stress like insomnia, irritability, and a lack of focus. Understanding your own needs is also pivotal. For example, if you find that your energy levels drop during certain parts of the day, you need to take breaks during those times. Every person is unique, each with their own set of experiences, capabilities, and thresholds. As such, the limits will greatly vary from one individual to another. What may appear manageable to one could be overwhelmingly stressful to another. Therefore, cultivating self-awareness is of utmost importance. You need to recognize when things start to feel too much for you. Is it when your workload spikes, or when you're not getting enough rest, or perhaps when you're in a toxic environment? Similarly, identify the scenarios that make you uneasy. Do conflicts or confrontational situations unsettle you? Or is it the lack of recognition and appreciation at work? Furthermore, decide what is simply unacceptable for you. This could be anything from a lack of respect to manipulation, deceit, or even unfair treatment. Once you have a comprehensive understanding of your personal limits, you will be better prepared to set boundaries effectively. Moving forward, it's critical to articulate these boundaries decisively. And to illustrate, having open conversations about expectations and limits is a great way to start. Using I statements such as, I feel uncomfortable when, or I need some time to, are effective means of expressing personal boundaries. Being assertive, not aggressive, strengthens the communication process and ensures your message is heard and understood. Remember, these boundaries and methods of communication are not formed in an instant. They require time, a sequence of dialogues, and most importantly, a deep level of comprehension. Primary among these steps is having thorough, transparent, and honest discussions with the individual receiving care. It's not a one-time conversation. but a continuous process that morphs with time. Alongside, it is just as vital to incorporate the rest of the family into these dialogues. Communication must happen with everyone involved, making certain that each party grasps and respects the boundaries set. By doing so, everyone participating in the care process feels valued and their voice is heard. It's not merely about erecting boundaries, but also about crafting an environment where these boundaries are respected. Remember, it's not about creating barriers, but fostering understanding and shared respect. When setting boundaries, it's equally important to be firm yet flexible. This concept might sound paradoxical initially, but the essence lies in understanding the balance between rigidity and adaptability. For instance, think about a scenario where you've decided to limit your working hours to maintain a healthy work-life balance. Being firm yet flexible in this context means being steadfast in defining your boundaries, establishing a solid foundation where you strictly adhere to your decision of not extending your work after a certain time. However, it also means having the capability to maneuver around those set boundaries when necessary, like adapting when a critical project comes up demanding few extra hours. This doesn't mean you are weak or indecisive, but instead shows your capacity to grow and adapt. Stay committed to the limits set. This commitment signifies strength, resilience, and respect for your own needs and values. It's about demonstrating integrity by adhering to the boundaries you've established. However, as life's dynamic nature plays out, we may find ourselves in situations where the initially set boundaries may no longer serve their purpose. In such cases, being open to adjustments becomes crucial. For example, if you've set a boundary to never work on weekends, but an unexpected client meeting crops up, being flexible enough to attend the meeting signifies your adaptability. This adaptability allows you to maintain relevance and effectiveness in changing circumstances. Shifting boundaries doesn't imply losing control, but rather understanding and responding to the changing dynamics around you. The key lies in finding the middle ground, like a tree standing firm in its place, but swaying with the wind when it blows strongly. It's about striking the right balance between standing firm on your boundaries and being flexible enough to adapt them when it becomes necessary for your growth and well-being. Don't forget to seek and accept help. Often being a caregiver feels like a solitary role of responsibility that rests solely on your shoulders. This perception, however, couldn't be further from reality. A widespread misconception persists, suggesting that caregivers should bear the brunt of their duties alone. This idea is far from the truth. It's not a sign of weakness to reach out. You are not failing by asking for assistance. Whether it's family, friends, or professional help, there are avenues available. Examples of seeking and accepting help include reaching out to support groups where you can share experiences, learn from others, and find solace. Hiring professional caregivers is another practical option. They are equipped with trained individuals who can provide comprehensive support. And delegating tasks to willing family members or friends can significantly lighten your load. It's important to remember that these people are there for you, willing and waiting to lend a helping hand. The act of reaching out can range from asking your sibling to spend time with your care recipient to a professional caregiver for skilled assistance, or joining a caregiver's support group for emotional support. Even your extended family members may be more than happy to take on delegated tasks. sharing in responsibilities. Sharing the responsibility can significantly lighten the load and ensure you're not facing caregiving alone. Lastly, make self-care a priority. It isn't something that should be viewed as selfish or indulgent, but rather as an absolute necessity. Remember, as a caregiver, you're tasked with the responsibility of another's well-being, which means your health and well-being are equally important. When you're well rested and healthy, you're more equipped to provide quality care. You're able to think more clearly, react more efficiently, and perform tasks to the best of your ability. Therefore, it's important to create space for activities that help rejuvenate your mind and body. Engage in your favorite hobbies, be it painting, gardening, or reading. Practice relaxation techniques such as yoga, meditation, or even taking a soothing bath. Make time for social activities, like having lunch with a friend or attending a community event. Remember, the key is to indulge in activities that you enjoy and help you unwind. So, make time for self-care activities such as hobbies, relaxation techniques, and socializing with others. To recap, caregiving is both fulfilling and enriching, yet the establishment of boundaries is essential for balance. Recognize your personal limits. Perhaps you realize you get really tired after 8 hours of caregiving, or you find it difficult to handle heavy lifting. Once acknowledged, it's important to communicate these limitations to others so they understand your ground rules. For instance, you can tell them up front that you need a break every 4 hours to rest and recharge, or you can't be relied upon to assist with moving the person from the bed to the wheelchair. Be steadfast yet flexible. Adaptability is crucial when unforeseen circumstances arise. Do not hesitate to ask for help when you need it. For example, if the person you're caring for needs medical attention that goes beyond your capabilities, it's all right to seek aid from a health professional. Prioritize your wellness above all else. This could mean ensuring you have a sufficient amount of sleep or setting aside time daily and hobbies that you enjoy. By applying these strategies, the responsibilities of caregiving can become more bearable and fulfilling. This isn't about limiting the love you give, but about fostering an environment where everyone thrives. Remember, a content caregiver equals a content care receiver, so always prioritize self-care. For instance, you might take a nightly walk to clear your head or engage in a weekly yoga class to relieve stress. After all, when you're at your best, you can provide the best care. In the end, caregiving is all about creating a nurturing environment for both the caregiver and the care receiver. It's about understanding, setting, and communicating boundaries, identifying personal limits, and accepting help when needed. Above all, it's about prioritizing self-care so you can provide the best care to others. We hope these tips and strategies will help you on your caregiving journey. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might benefit from this information. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos like this one. And as always, we appreciate your comments and feedback. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Together, we can create a community of support and understanding. Until next time, take care of yourself and those you love.